Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha if you are new here, and today's video is going to be part 2 of living a meaningful life. So I did do a previous video, and if you haven't checked that out already, I will leave the link in the description box below. But before I dive into how to live a meaningful life, I also wanted to point out something that's going to be very beneficial if you're a person that is struggling either with depression or sticking to a diet or has a hard time being disciplined. Your ego is not going to be a bad idea. Your ego is going to be very important when it comes to getting yourself out of a bad situation, getting yourself out of a hard time. It's also going to be helpful if you have a health plan that you're sticking to, or working out, or maybe starting a new job, or maybe working long hours. Those are the times when your ego is absolutely necessary. So the purpose of your ego is not to be egotistical, but it is to balance between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and it is also to balance between your wishful thinking and then what's in reality. So it's going to be like anything in life, is going to be extremely helpful in doses. So this is very helpful when it comes to living a meaningful life. If you don't have a healthy ego, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have some sort of mental illness. People that strive to have an quote-unquote ego death, pretty much why they want that is because they have wanted too many things, or they have wanted something, or maybe money, or a person, or a subject, and they just couldn't have it, and it was so painful that they couldn't have it, so they just decided not to want anything at all. And having that done to you a lot of times will naturally want to make you have not an ego, or have an ego death. However, not having an ego will make you more selfless, compassionate, but it also will leave you not only mentally emotionally ill, but it will also make you not be able to see reality clearly, and the willpower and motivation will not be there as well. So like anything in life, it is very helpful to have a healthy dose of humility and compassion. So the point that I wanted to start off with before I went further into this video is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because part of living a meaningful life is to be able to find your best attributes about yourself. Now, the ego is also about separation. Now, if you have too much separation, too much individuality, there's going to be competitiveness and conflict. So everyone has attributes that are both positive and negative. So a healthy ego will help you be able to pick out what attributes about yourself that you have that are positive that you can use. Now, the attributes that you have may or may not be, no one has the exact same attributes, because everyone has a different makeup, they think differently, they've had different experiences. So not having the ability to pick out and own your positive attributes is going to be really difficult when finding, positive meaning about yourself in general. It's very important to find positive meaning about yourself. And if you don't, then you might want to change the narrative within your mind. Your mind is very, very good for logical thinking. It's good for linear thinking. It's good for staying orderly and problem solving. So when things like imagination or intuition or thoughtfulness, I have to let my cat out because he's gonna meow through this entire thing. Talkative is also an attribute as well, is going to be very helpful when deciding what attributes you want. So, let's say a person is imaginative, maybe they have really good qualities of writing or reading. I want you to imagine living through those attributes and then either teaching other people how to be those things, or presenting those things at all times. Really bringing and staying true to yourself is going to be really helpful when finding meaning within yourself. Another helpful question to ask yourself is, what do I mean at the core of my being? What do I mean at the core of my being? And this will really help you step out of your mental mind and into your emotional body, or more a deeper version of yourself. So that was my first principle. My second principle is recognizing other as a vastness, or what I like to call an expression that is very large, or something that is very depth or wide, or you're constantly in awe of someone or something. Now that might not always be a good thing. Sometimes you can be in awe of somebody being super cold or mean, but that is an attribute. So it kind of takes the punch out of the sting out of something being done to you, and more in a space of looking at this person or individual or a group of people as a whole, and them being kind of eternal, or just a very large, or almost like a subject that can't be contained. So I think that when we interact with people, we look at people through like our projections or our judgments. So if you have a different perspective, it can kind of change the way that even your day is going. Especially if you're working in a 9-to-5 job, or you have to do things that you really don't want to do. I mean, it just makes life a little bit, and people and experiences a little bit more exciting, because sometimes we get into this mundane or routine that's like super boring, and the adjustment from maybe changing things up and transitioning can really make things a little bit more exciting, and to view people more in a state of what I like to call vertical thinking. Horizontal thinking. So there's vertical thinking, and then there's horizontal thinking, and it just puts people more in a perspective that one's not better than the other, if that makes sense. So horizontal thinking, research horizontal thinking and how people can fit into that space. I like to view the heart space as more as a horizontal thinking rather than vertical thinking. The mind is more of a vertical thinking, because it puts people in places into like a hierarchy and like logical perspectives, and for me that's like super boring. I like to view people as everybody's equal, and everybody has their own attributes, and everybody's like an art piece, and has like, they're like really interesting with all their experience. It just makes people in places more interesting. So horizontal thinking, research it. The third principle of living a meaningful life is, which other one did I want to go through? I think it was, very important yet very painful, is feel everything fully. Your feelings and emotions are buried within your subconscious mind if you don't feel them, experience them fully. If something keeps coming up over and over again, such as grief or anger, there definitely needs to be a change within your life or the patterns that you are doing every day. But if you limit yourself to only feeling happy feelings, and then or maybe when a negative emotion comes along and you feel it like halfway, that also will apply to your happy feelings as well. So essentially, emotion and feeling and sensation are the root of life. if we didn't have sensations and like sensory subjects about ourselves, life would be super boring. So feel everything fully. It won't kill you, I promise. And last but not least is follow your inner fire. I've done a couple videos on this as well, but your inner fire is your inspiration, or it is also tied to your purpose. So your purpose is basically, it doesn't have anything to do with a job or career. It usually has to do with what you take interest with, or what you value the most in life. And that will also be tied to your purpose and your inner fire as well. Your inner fire is something that you kind of always have within the back of your mind. It's something that you really want to live by, but your values and the meanings that you have really will play a part in your inner fire. Also, an interesting fact is that if you have a hard time knowing what your inner fire is, or having the ability to live through your inner fire, it usually means that you're in your head too much. So like I said, your mind wants things to be orderly and clean, but passion and inner fire is very large, and it's very excitable, and it's very it's like all-consuming. So the mind has a difficult time knowing what the passion is, so you have to find out what makes you feel fiery and excited. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed meeting my animals as well. I do videos every week, so I also have a podcast, and I also send out a monthly inspirational email as well as daily quotes on my Instagram, and I also do individual sessions as well. So I will leave all the info in the description box below. I love you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.